Thanks, Sam, and Honorable Ministers. Definitely, I should say, a godsend to have you here. I was talking to your PA, and I was trying to see if I can hijack you to our factory here. You can come and meet, but he said that Professor Junjunwala has taken the first card. So, and in Chennai, Professor Junjunwala does outrank me, so I'll give the card to him. So again, congratulations to the organizers for such a spectacular event. I think it's wonderful. I think some fantastic speakers spoke before me. I think India has been, I spent about 18 years in Nokia and the last 5 odd years in Foxconn. And one of the things coming back to India was talking to global people. India was always a software country. And thanks to stalwarts like Mr. Lakshmi, Mr. Som, who drove this into a global phenomenon of software. But what I want to say, and it's great to have the Honorable Minister here, is that India is also evolving in the electronic hardware space, which will have, I think, deep and important implications for a country like India. So, sir, I have to say that in India, in Chennai, in the last 13 years I've been back in India, I have been making 3 phones a second. That is roughly a little over 1.1 billion phones have been made in Chennai. So, and it's, in our factory, it's done by 85% women. So hopefully next time you're in Chennai, sir, we will have the privilege. And if you come, Mr. Lakshmi will also come. He's been sort of dodging the long commute trip to our factory. So I think this whole growth in electronics, I'm going to attribute it to Make in India. Make in India, and that's really what I'm going to talk about. And yes, please clap for that. I think it's probably one of the most successful Government of India programs, and we are very proud to be a part of that. Our industry, mainly mobile phones, has been sort of the flagship here. We've created about 700,000 new jobs, 7 lakh, if it sounds better to you. But I think what I want to talk about today is the future, and it will have resultant implications of good supply chain development in electronics for the medical and other use cases which will come out, okay? So the goal of what I'm calling Make in India 2.0 is what's going to happen in the next 5 years. The next 5 years is going to be Make in India for the rest of the world. And the target which the National Policy of Electronics has stated is $400 billion in electronic manufacturing in India. And this is going to be of an economy which is 5 trillion. And this is about 8% of the GDP. Today, the automotive industry is about 7%. So we are saying that this additional sort of push is very possible. And I think this will have very, very interesting implications. And I think we had some fantastic speakers talking about AI and some real use cases in the medical field. And I really think that India and the future here in the next 36 months is going to be built around a puzzle of big data, of the cloud, your IoT space, artificial intelligence using heuristics and things like that, and in a scaled implementation of 5G. I think it's in India. I think this puzzle box is going to be a bit different from the rest of the world. Some countries may say they are better, faster, quicker. I think this puzzle will take shape. Now there are a lot of smart guys looking at this. I am very keen on the hardware slice of it. Servers, billions of IoT devices, which will be affordable to patients, hospitals, healthcare providers in India, connected devices for very intensive small cell networks to provide low latency, high bandwidth network connections, and so on and so forth. Okay? So I just want to paint a broad stroke, but I want to say that this story is very real. You know, people say that electronics did not happen in India. This is the production of mobile phones in India since Make in India. You can see the growth. So this is very, very possible. The future is going to look like this. We are just looking at the opportunity which we have in this particular space, and I can tell you that the future definitely is looking very, very positive. We see the bigger vision we are driving at is a 10-year roadmap. The 10-year roadmap is hopefully with a milestone of 400 million by 2024. By 2030, we expect the electronics manufacturing space in India to be 1 trillion. And 1 trillion, a $700 billion medical device space in 10 years. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people coming. Now there's a lot of work has to be done with the government. I was just speaking earlier this week. I actually met the Honorable Telecom Minister, Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, in Delhi, and I was congratulating him on the reforms which the government is doing. So clearly the government has made its move. This, I'll come back to this. This tax cut which was announced in the corporate income tax is quite unprecedented. 22% with an effective tax rate of about 25% is very unprecedented. I think, and it's really going to enable a lot of things. We're going to become very, very competitive compared to other countries. And I was going to tell the Honorable Minister of State for Electronics. I know you wear a very heavy HRD hat, sir, but this electronics, I think we need to do an outreach talking about this tax cuts which we have made to the rest of the world. So people need to know so that the investment comes into place to support and develop, because the opportunity here is coming with all these components. Now the good news is what I put in these components here, there are 4 or 5 broad classifications, right? PCB, semicon, displays. These things can be used for medical devices as well. And these components are really going to be very, very important. And people always say that, well, it's not possible in India, and I say that, trust me, it is possible in India. And the government has really, in my mind, with this fixing of the corporate income tax rate, really shown the right direction. So I think going forward, I really see that these kind of things will definitely benefit us taking forward. So I look forward for the next 5 years slab as a milestone, but really we are trying to drive for a $1 billion electronics industry, which will support use cases in the medical field and beyond. With that, thank you and all the best.